Okay, so today I want to touch on how to get started with Tinker's Construct and some of the things that you'll need in order to get started. Now, usually when you spawn into a world with Tinker's Construct enabled as a mod, you automatically show up with a book called Materials and You, which will get you started with Tinker's Construct. Well, unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't happen, so I'm going to show how to get the first book and the other books to get started. So, let's look here. Okay, as you can see, the first book is Materials and You. It is made with a blank pattern and a piece of paper. A blank pattern is basically 2 sticks and 2 planks, so that's not hard to make. Now, once you have Materials and You, then you can make the second version of Materials in You just by sticking the first one into a crafting table by itself. So I'm going to do that. Now, as you can see, the next book in the series is going to be Mighty Smelting, which you can also get by putting your second Materials and You book into a crafting table. I've already got these, so I'm not going to craft it. Now, after that, you have Diary of a Tinker, which is made by putting Mighty Smelting into a crafting table. Okay, to start out, let's look at what is in Materials and You. You'll see that it starts out with tools, materials, and modifiers. This shows you the basic layouts and parts that you will need to build specialty tools. As you can see, here's a shovel, has a shovel head and a tool rod. Hatchet has a hatchet head and a tool rod. Those are simple 2-part tools, whereas with the pickaxe you have the head, a rod, and then a binding as well. Now you can see broadsword has a blade, a rod, and a wide guard. There's several different things that you can use, and they each have different recipes. The hammer is very helpful because it will mine out a 3x3 area. That's usually one of the first tools that I shoot for. This shows some of the materials that you can use. It also shows, like with obsidian, it has durability, there's modifiers, mining speed, stuff such as that. Each one of these different materials will affect the way that your tools turn out. You'll want to use different materials to customize your tools accordingly. These are some miscellaneous recipes. Then this goes into different types of metals that can be made in the smelter and then used to create parts for tools. Anyway, you can look through this book at your leisure. Unfortunately, it seems to be really storming outside. Okay, so now I want to show a few of the tool benches and tables that you will need to get started. Here we have a tool station, which you see is a blank pattern over a crafting table. We have a pattern chest, which is a blank pattern over a chest. There's a part builder, which is a blank pattern over a log. And then we have a stencil table, which is a blank pattern over a plank. And of course, crafting station can be made by putting a crafting table into a crafting table. Put a crafting table into a crafting table to make a crafting station. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's start with the stencil table, which I have here. This is my usual layout for these tables. I have a stencil table, pattern chest, part builder, tool station, and then I've just got a crafting station on the end. Okay, now to get started with the stencil table, you want to take patterns, put them into here. You can load this up if you want. And this shows you, this will give you a tool rod pattern. Now, if you want something different, you hit next pattern. It'll give you a pickaxe. So, best thing to start out with, I think, would be a tool rod pattern pickaxe pattern. And then, of course, we will need a tool binding pattern. This will give us the 3 parts. If you remember when we looked in the materials in U-Book, that a pickaxe needs a pickaxe head, a binding, and a tool rod pattern. Now, with a pattern chest, we can take all these patterns that we just created, and they can all be stored in this chest. Now, when we come over to the part builder, which is what we use to cast parts out of patterns, we open this, and as you can see by putting the chest on the left side of the part builder, it interfaces to where we can use it. Now, I put the pickaxe head pattern down. Then I put some cobblestone in, and this shows that I have a stone pickaxe head. I could put this to the side. I could do a tool binding. Now, as you can see on the right here, this will show the basics that you get from each one of these materials, and they will change depending on what you're making this with. But another thing that I should point out is this is going to use half of this whole piece of cobblestone that's going into here, which will leave left over a stone shard. And see, when I took that out, it started the process over again. Take the pattern out. We're back where we started. Same thing for a tool rod. Now, since this only uses a piece, if we put the shard in, as you can see, it brings us up a tool rod without a leftover shard. So these things can be used later like that. And put the pattern back in here. Okay, now for the tool station. Now that we have these parts, now In the mode that this is in now, this is set up to where you can put a tool here and then you can add different substances on the left side, and it will reinforce and modify or repair these tools. But if you want to make a tool, then say we want to make our pickaxe, we click the pickaxe. This shows us where to put our parts. So here we have stone tool rod, binding goes in the middle, and the pickaxe head goes on top. This gives us a pickaxe that has a durability of 65, mining speed of 4, mining level of iron. It has 3 modifiers that we could add on to it. Now to add these modifiers, we click, put this over here, and then any substance that we put here will add a modifier to it depending on what that material does, and that's where the modifiers section in materials and new comes in. Okay, so if we open the materials and new book and go all the way to the end to modifiers, this will show us in the tool station what we can add to a tool to change its properties. So here this shows adding a diamond adds 500 extra durability and mining level is increased to level 3. But there are various things that can be added. Redstone is a good one to pick up the speed that something mines with. If we add moss or a moss ball to it, it will make it to where it auto repairs. So that way if you leave the tool alone, it will repair over time. So then if you have, say, a diamond pickaxe or something like that, it will actually repair itself. Auto smelt will smelt anything that is dug up. And these are recipes for how to make some of these things that you can add as a modifier. So just for demonstration's sake, let's go into the tool station. Take the pickaxe that we've already built. As you can see, it has 3 different modifiers left. Let's add redstone. This is going to bring up the speed. And you can add more and more levels. As you see, it keeps going up each time that you move it over. Now with redstone, I would suggest if you're going to be trying to add a lot of speed onto something with redstone, what you want to do is actually make your redstone into blocks and put those in, because that will go a lot faster. But as you can see, each time we add it, our mining speed goes up. But I don't want to waste all my redstone on a stone pickaxe, so we'll pull that out of there. That thing mines pretty quickly now. So I think this is running a little bit longer than I had hoped, but I think we've got a few of the basics in for Tinker's Construct and how to get started with some of the crafting tables. The next episode I'm going to do will deal with the smelter and making alloys. So I'm going to leave it here for now so as not to overwhelm anybody, and check in next time for the last part and the last little bit that you'll need to be able to make some really cool tools. Thanks for watching.